In Activity 8, Lunar Soil, students first examine a sandy mixture similar in texture to the layer of soil that blankets the moon's surface. Students then predict the texture of the moon's surface from previous activities and examine some rock samples similar to those brought back by astronauts. You will need the following materials from the kit: Activity Sheet 8, fluted plastic bags, basalt rocks, rubber bands, container of cat litter, set of moon surface photos, and bags of fine sand. You will also need to provide boxes of crayons, cardboard box with lid, large bucket, measuring cup, knife with serrated edge, and tap water. To prepare for Activity 8, make a copy of Activity Sheet 8 for each student. You will need to obtain a cardboard box with a lid. Cut 2 holes in the lid of the box. The holes should be big enough for a student to fit their arm through. Prepare the lunar soil mixture in advance. In a large bucket, combine equal parts sand, cat litter, and tap water, and use your hands to mix the materials thoroughly. The resulting mixture should have the consistency of damp beach sand. Dump the mixture into the box and spread it out so that it is several inches deep. Replace the cover and set the box aside. When preparing the mixture, do not let students see you add water, as they have learned that there is no water in the liquid state on the moon. In this example, water is needed to achieve the correct simulation of the texture of moon soil. Each student will need a fluted plastic bag, a rubber band, a basalt rock, and access to the box of soil. Each team of 2 will need a box of crayons. Have photographs of the moon's surface available where students can examine them. Review what students have learned about the surface of the moon. Ask students, how do you think the surface of the moon feels? Discuss the different adjectives students might use. For example, rough, dry, dusty, sandy, bumpy, and so on. Place the box of moon soil in the middle of the classroom. Tell students that when astronauts visited the moon many years ago, one of their jobs was to collect soil and rock samples and bring them back to Earth so scientists could study them. Scientists did not know if the moon soil and rocks were dangerous to handle, so they wore gloves. Distribute a fluted plastic bag and a rubber band to each student. Show students how to put the bag over one hand and secure it with a rubber band around the wrist. Explain to them that, like the astronauts and the scientists, they will touch the moon soil only while wearing gloves. The mixture used in this activity is harmless. The purpose of wearing gloves is to reinforce the idea that there is no water on the moon. Have teams of 2 come up to the box and insert their gloved hands through the holes in the lid of the box. Give each team about 30 seconds to play with the soil. During that time, instruct them to hold the mixture in the palm of their hands, rub the mixture between their fingers, and squeeze a handful of the mixture. Have them make note of how the soil feels each time. When they are done, have them smooth out the mixture for the next team. After all teams have had an opportunity to feel the soil, ask them to describe what it felt like and what happened to it when they squeezed it. Then ask, have you ever felt anything on Earth that feels this way? They may suggest it felt like damp sand. Ask, what would make the soil stick together? Students may suggest that the soil is wet. Remind students that there is no water on the moon and that the astronauts were surprised by this too. Have students rinse their plastic bags off before removing them from their hands. Next, tell students that they are going to look at and handle a type of rock that is found on the moon. Show students the photographs of rocks and boulders on the moon's surface. Tell students that in addition to a layer of soil, the surface of the moon is also scattered with rocks of all different sizes. Some are small and some are big, like the boulders in the photographs. Most of the rocks are made of the same material. Then, distribute a copy of Activity Sheet 8 and a basalt rock to each student. Next, distribute a box of crayons to each team of 2. Have students describe what the rocks look like. Dark gray with some specks of white and some shiny specks. Ask students, do these rocks look like rocks that you would find near your house? Answers will vary. Tell students that astronauts brought back from the moon over 850 pounds of rocks for scientists to study. They found that most of the rocks were like these. Have students draw a picture of their basalt rock on Activity Sheet 8. Tell students that in the next activity, they are going to take another look at the changing shape of the moon. To conclude the activity, Discard the box of moon soil and the plastic bags. Collect the rock samples and return them to the kit. For science background, reinforcement activities, curriculum connections, and information about the Delta Science Reader, please consult your DSM Teacher's Guide.